Hello and welcome back to this I-24 News Evening Edition. I'm Lucy Alrish and this is One on One. Joining me tonight is animal liberation activist Gary Yourofsky. His message has reached millions of people all around the world and has influenced many in changing their perspective of the food industry.
This is the biggest Holocaust that has ever existed, and people get upset at those terms.
I have to tell you that I am upset about hearing like Holocaust, comparing the Holocaust to like every single person that heard your lectures, and to hear this Holocaust, comparing it to animals, it's a little bit,
Let me
and
explain.
you know what, and I'm not even Jewish,
Okay.
but it's hurt me.
Well, let me explain how this Holocaust is actually worse. I'm offended that we compare human Holocaust to the animal Holocaust, which is the biggest Holocaust in the history of humankind. If you went to the nearest cow or chicken slaughterhouse and removed the animals and replaced them with Jews, you have now recreated Auschwitz. There's no difference. You have a building that exists to dismantle, to torment, to torture, and murder innocent beings. Let's play a time game, a time warp game. Let's go back 60, 70 years. You go back to Auschwitz, or you go back to Birkenau, you remove the Jews and replace them with cows and chickens. You still have a Holocaust taking place. In fact, we learned how to kill Jews in the Nazis did because they studied what the meat industry was doing. We've learned how to torture and kill each other because we practiced on the animals first.
But animals are eating animals, you know?
Some animals.
And
Hold on, 75% of animals on this planet are herbivores.
but it's part of our circle of life.
No, it's the circle of torture and death.
When you see a lion eating a zebra, and you're.
But I notice
saying,
you have
this
clothes
is
on. And I notice that you have a cell phone and you have a computer. It is unfair to pick one thing that lions do that you want to mimic when you don't want to mimic anything else they do. When lions walk up and greet each other, they sniff each other's ass. When I came in this room, you did not kneel down and sniff my ass. Okay? Lions sometimes kill their young when they're runts. Okay? If a human being killed their baby because they didn't want him, we arrest them and charge them with murder. Could you go to a courtroom and say, hey, but Your Honor, lions kill their babies, can't I? It's
their survivor.
It's an unfair comparison. You're not a lion. And just so you know, lions are carnivores. Humans are not. We are herbivores, 100% up and down. You put a 2-year-old child in a crib with a bunny rabbit and an apple, let me know when the child eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple. We are purely herbivorous. We have no carnivorous or omnivorous instincts whatsoever. And physiologically, if your jaw moves from side to side in a grinding motion and you chew, you're 100% herbivore. If you were a meat eater like a lion, your jaw would only go like this, up and down, rip and swallow. If you sweat through your pores to cool yourself, you're herbivore. Remember, it took 400 years to convince white people in America not to own black people. You can see why this is taking so long. We can't even treat each other with kindness, let alone treat the chickens and the pigs and the turkeys and the insects of the world with kindness. But I think we can treat each other with kindness one day once we learn how to treat the animals with kindness. I'm
feeling a little bit uncomfortable because I just had a steak for lunch, and and it's still I'm not convinced 100% that I should stop eating meat for the rest of my life. It's not that I'm eating meat every day, but I do love my steak on the plate once a week. So you have now 2 minutes to try to convince me eat meat once a month.
I don't want to convince you to do it once a month. I want to convince you never to do it. Okay, you have to put yourself in the animal's position. Imagine that you were raped to impregnate yourself. Okay, somebody raped you to impregnate you. You gave birth to this baby. This baby was stolen from you at birth. That baby was fattened up with corn and soy and wheat and oats. That baby was put on a concentration camp truck, sent to a slaughterhouse, hung upside down, fully conscious, in front of all of her own species, screaming, terrified, in fear, knife shoved into, her throat, cut up into pieces. Where's the justification for this? And it's not your steak. You said my steak. I'm very big on language. That steak was never yours. That steak was never yours. That steak was never yours. Okay, that steak is a euphemism, by the way. That's cow flesh. That flesh belonged to another living being. Where do humans get off owning and controlling living beings. Where do we get off thinking that we're the most special thing that has ever existed on this planet, when in reality, we're the most unspecial thing that has ever existed on this planet? Are you aware that if humans were removed from the planet, the extinction of humans would benefit everything that exists? I think when you put violence in, you get violence out. You consume discrimination and death, you're going to, exude the same horrible things.
Because some people may say the same things about you. Because some people may say that he's arrogant, he thinks that he knows better, he thinks that he's better than us, and actually we're all let's say, how can I put it? I'm the one to be charged, and you are the judge who is judging me right now.
Yeah, well, there's two people in this world. There's people that judge and people that lie about judging. We judge people every day. We judge child molesters. We judge rapists. We judge Nazis. We judge murderers. And I know this is a shock to the meat, dairy, and egg eaters of the world, but vegans are more ethical than they are, hands down. And of course, just like a person that doesn't rape is more ethical than a person who does rape. The animal holocaust was happening long before the Jewish Holocaust, during the Jewish Holocaust, and it's still happening today. Every second, just so you know, of every minute, of every hour, of every day, female animals are raped to impregnate them. Every second, animals are being killed. Every 60 billion animals every year. I'm trying to bring compassion to this world. It's amazing that I'm called a terrorist, and if I'm called a terrorist for saving animals, what do we call people that kill animals and torture animals and eat animals?